She was a 30-year-old hairstylist, a loving mother of two boys, and a woman who had her whole life ahead of her. But on January 2nd, 2025, she simply vanished. Her phone went silent. Her car was found at her ex-boyfriend's apartment. And soon after, chilling surveillance footage would surface, showing what appeared to be a man struggling to dump a cart into a dumpster with something sticking out. Something that looked terrifyingly human. This is the story of Ashley Elkins, the Michigan mother who disappeared, the ex-boyfriend now accused of killing and dismembering her, and the family left behind searching for justice. If you're new here, welcome to Dark Case Files, where we cover the most gripping true crime stories unfolding across the U.S. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss the updates as this case develops. Ashley Nicole Elkins lived in Warren, Michigan, just outside Detroit. She was 30 years old, working as a hairstylist and raising two young sons. Friends described her as funny, warm, and incredibly devoted to her children. She had dreams of opening her own salon one day, of building a future where she could provide stability for her boys. But all of that came to a sudden halt after January 2nd. That was the last day anyone heard from Ashley. According to family members, she left home that morning to run errands. But after that, nothing. Her phone stopped ringing. Her social media went silent. For a woman who was constantly in touch with friends and family, this disappearance was immediately suspicious. Her family reported her missing, and police quickly launched an investigation. At first, it was treated as a standard missing person case. But as days passed with no sign of Ashley, concern turned to fear. Her mother, Tanya, told reporters that Ashley's 7-year-old son kept asking, "Is Mom coming home?" Tanya could only answer, "We don't know." The heartbreak was unbearable. Within the first 2 weeks, authorities organized large-scale searches. On January 15th, they even combed through a landfill with 40 to 50 officers and cadaver dogs, desperately trying to find traces of Ashley. But despite the exhaustive search, there was no sign of her body. Still, investigators had reason to believe foul play was involved, and suspicions soon began to circle one man. That man was DeAndre Booker, Ashley's 32-year-old ex-boyfriend. According to family and neighbors, their relationship had been rocky. They shared a history, but by early 2025, Ashley was no longer with him. When police began questioning Booker, they noticed inconsistencies in his story. He lied about his last contact with Ashley. He gave misleading information. On January 8th, 2025, just 6 days after Ashley went missing, Booker was arrested for lying to police during the investigation. At that time, the public didn't know just how significant that arrest was. But behind the scenes, investigators were uncovering evidence that would soon escalate the case from a missing person to a homicide. Ashley's car was found parked at Booker's apartment complex in Roseville, Michigan. Surveillance footage placed her at the location on the day she disappeared. And inside Booker's apartment, police made a chilling discovery: signs of violence. Prosecutors later revealed that hair consistent with Ashley's was found in the bathtub drain. By late January, charges were upgraded. Booker was formally charged with first-degree premeditated murder, tampering with evidence, mutilation of a body, and concealing the death of an individual. He was ordered held without bond. The public soon learned just how disturbing the evidence against Booker truly was. First, there was the surveillance video. Investigators obtained footage from a nearby building that showed a man, believed to be Booker, struggling to push a heavy cart across a parking lot. The footage captured him wheeling it toward a dumpster, and sticking out from under the sheet inside the cart was what appeared to be an arm. At first, some people didn't want to believe what they were seeing, but prosecutors later confirmed that this was one of the key pieces of evidence in the case. Then came the revelations about Booker's Google searches. According to investigators, His phone history included searches like telling God I want to kill someone, 9mm silencer Roseville, what happens to trash after it's picked up, and murder out of Rage X. These weren't just random late-night searches. They painted a picture of a man obsessed with violent thoughts, a man who seemed to be planning something. Police also recovered clothing from his home that matched the outfit seen in the dumpster surveillance footage. The clothing, they say, had dry blood on it. Piece by piece, the case against Booker was mounting. By August 2025, the case had reached preliminary hearings. Judge Joseph Bedecker presided as prosecutors began laying out their evidence in open court. Witnesses were called, including Ashley's mother, police officers, and forensic experts. The footage of the cart being dumped was played. Testimony described the hair recovered in the drain. Prosecutors outlined the disturbing internet searches. But the drama wasn't limited to the evidence. Booker himself made headlines for his behavior. During one hearing, he appeared remotely via Zoom. Instead of calmly sitting for the proceedings, he refused to sit down. He interrupted the court, at one point even screaming after being unmuted. Some described it as an attempt to intimidate or disrupt the process. Despite his outbursts, the hearings continued, and the judge determined there was sufficient evidence to move the case forward. Booker maintains his plea of not guilty. He has not admitted to harming Ashley. But prosecutors argue that the mountain of evidence, the video, the searches, the physical items recovered, points directly to him. While the court focuses on evidence and charges, Ashley's family lives every day in agony. Her two sons have been left without their mother. Her 7-year-old asks daily if she is coming home. Her older child cries at night, plagued by nightmares. Their grandmother, Tanya, now shoulders the impossible task of raising them while fighting for justice for her daughter. The community has rallied to support them. A GoFundMe page raised over $13,000 to help with expenses for the boys. Vigils have been held in Ashley's honor, with friends and neighbors gathering to pray, to demand answers, and to show the family they're not alone. For the family, closure is still out of reach. Ashley's body has not been recovered. Without it, the pain lingers, and the questions remain unanswered. As of mid-August 2025, the case continues to move through the courts. The preliminary exam has been extended, with more witnesses expected. If the case proceeds to trial, it will likely become one of the most closely watched murder trials in Michigan. For now, Booker sits in jail, facing the possibility of life in prison if convicted. Prosecutors are preparing to present their full case, and Ashley's family waits, hoping for justice. This story is a reminder of how quickly lives can be shattered by violence, by betrayal, by someone once trusted. It's also a story about resilience, a family determined to fight for their daughter, and a community that refuses to let her memory fade. As we continue following this case, we'll bring you updates from the courtroom, the family, and the investigation. If you want to stay informed, make sure you subscribe to Dark Case Files and turn on notifications. That way, you'll know the moment we release Part 2. And before we close, if you or someone you know is in a dangerous relationship, please reach out for help. Organizations like the National Domestic Violence Hotline are available 24/7. Ashley's story deserves to be told with care, with truth, and with respect. And here, we promise to do exactly that. This is not the end of the story. In fact, it's only just beginning. Court dates are set, new evidence is expected, and the fight for justice continues. The question remains, will the truth finally come out in time for Ashley's family to find peace? Stay tuned.